I am no one in the world but you.
I want to talk to you. I like it here.
I'm going mad. Tomorrow. And afterwards. I am no one in the world but you.
I like it here, with lots of cream.
just picking up the bits, then change the channel as you wish.
We are today the 1st of February 2024. 2025, thank you. Yeah, already. With Edward Ka-Spel, singer from legendary Pink Dots, and many other projects like Tear Garden and Mimir, your own solo project. And we are right in the year of the 45 years of Legendary Pictoids.
That is right, yeah.
It's going to be this summer.
Yeah, that's when we indeed turned 45, which is...
Yeah, it's amazing. So
It's
that's why
strange.
it's
Yeah.
going to be my first question. What is the recipe for such a long life? How did you manage to do something like that?
I mean, it's what I do. It's a calling. It's like I just explaining. I have to make music every day.
Every day.
Like
Wow.
I don't switch off, but it's a great pleasure. You know, like I feel very privileged to live such a life and to be able to do this. You know, but I cannot stop. It's
Please don't.
yeah, no, to say an obsession is not is probably that's probably the wrong word. That makes it sound like an illness. It's not an illness. It's just what I have to do. And yeah, I just enjoy the sense of discovery. It's like a new world every day, basically.
And you're still experimenting with every tool you've got around.
Well, sure, yeah, you have to. So otherwise, why would you? You know, you need new places to visit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like new colours.
I was reading this week the quite interesting. It's not really an interview, a review that you published on your own web about the story of LPD, and it's stunning to see how hard it was at the beginning.
Yeah, well, we were just like living in London with nobody had any money. You know, any equipment we bought, we sort of like had to pay for over years. Because it just, you know, nobody was from a privileged background. Or, you know, I grew up in a one-parent family in a flat in East London. So yeah, there was never very much money around. But yeah, it's worth the sacrifices to be able to do what eventually I was able to do.
Do you think that moving to Amsterdam had an impact on the fast growth of your project?
It probably did. I went there alone, first of all, and that was like the decision that would mean there will be no other form of work to keep me alive from then on. It was like all or nothing, unless I simply gave up, you know, waved the white flag and moved back at some point. But I was determined not to do that. And also the rest of the band, or almost all the rest of the band, moved there too, but after about a year. And then the commitment was full on, and until a lot of the band left again in 1988, because it was a hard existence. It was like nobody was, you know, wealthy or anything like that. We toured to live, and we would be playing little basements or rough little clubs in the middle of, you know, nowhere, to sort of like just be able to like pay for our breakfast in those early days. But that's how I guess you learn your craft, and every experience you get something from it, and you know, learn how to do it better.
Yeah, and you're also self-taught. You've learned most of it on your own. With
Sure.
friends.
I mean, like as a musician, I'm not really a musician. I have an okay right hand on the keyboard. I can think the music, and I can compose the music, but in terms of actually playing, like, you know, there are, you know, far better keyboard players than I am. Far better. I don't even consider myself a keyboard player, but I do kind of know music somehow.
Yeah, like it was always in you.
Yeah, as I say, it's a bit of a calling, really. And you know, I just do what I have to do. It's you know, there are no alternatives, and I'll keep doing it until I drop.
To me, it seems like, but I might be wrong, that you, from the start, had a quite precise idea of what you wanted to do with Legendary Pink Dots. Is that so?
Yeah, I guess I did really. It's interesting question. That I have to say I did. Yeah, I knew where it was going to go. I knew I wanted it to sound like.
And you keep on doing that, and it worked quite fast, because for what I know, in '87 you went to United States to tour
Yeah, that's with Skinny Puppy.
with Skinny Puppy, and you did like 30 dates.
That's
quite
right,
amazing.
something like that. Yeah, it's over that. I think it's more than that. Yeah, just that's just me alone on stage before them. That was hard. It was also a massive, amazing adventure. You know, it's I learned a lot from that. That's for sure. And I will always be grateful to them for inviting me to do it, because that was a once in a lifetime experience.
And right away, the same year, you start with Kevin Key this Tiergarten project, which is a brilliant project, I must say.
And it
To me,
still exists. Yeah, we've got new Tiergarten coming later this year.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good news. Do you know exactly when it should come out?
Probably in the spring, maybe late spring.
Mm.
It's very much. It's almost finished.
Cool.
The project, not the project. This album.
Great.
We're very very proud of it. I must say.
How do you work with Kevin? Do you send stuff to him through internet?
Well,
or-
the new one was really nice, because Kevin actually just sent me lots and lots of sessions that he'd had in Los Angeles, and it was good stuff. I mean, I loved it. Then I sort of worked with it to turn it into songs, and we tour and fro a bit, and Randall did some extra parts on it. Like he listened to it, and a friend of ours, Dre, in Los Angeles, he did some extra parts, and it really, like, it sort of like took its own life. This new one, and
It seems that Kevin had understood from the start exactly, like they were a fusion between you and him for this project.
yeah. I mean, we were in touch before the Tiergarten began, actually, for a couple of years, because he really enjoyed the Legendary Pink Dots, and was writing to me, and we actually called each other, before I ever set foot in North America. And I guess it was something that was always going to happen. I mean, he's a great friend now, like for many years.
So that there, since now that Skinny Puppy does not exist, do you plan to have also Tiergarten live?
I think a tour is unlikely. I think a show is possible, but we'll see, or maybe even a couple of shows. But we'll see. We'll take it as it comes.
So, do you know where the album is going to be released already? Which label?
Probably I think Kevin's working with a Canadian label at the moment. No, not completely sure, but Kevin handles that side of things really.
Great. Will it be a European pressing for us?
Again, I can't tell you. I just don't know.
Please help us for that. How do you work on a production on an album, and how is it possible to meet? It's still something I can't
Well,
understand. I was counting on Discogs, and I'm not sure they have all albums. How is it possible that you have more than 110 albums yet
really is that
out?
okay? I didn't know that. I've never counted, to be honest. I mean, it's kind of a bit odd to me. I mean, I mean, as I say, you just do what you do, and you don't stop to count, really. You know, I tend to work like 6 to 8 hours a day on music, so obviously a lot is going to be made.
That's how you do. You have so much released out. Do you release everything you worked on, or do you put some?
Oh no,
stuff
there's
on?
lots sitting there in the can at the moment. It's like.
How did you came to music? Did you have parents listening to music, or did you have a musical environment as a child?
No,
Not at all.
no. It's just like in my school days, I heard things that just absolutely fascinated me, and I just had to join the club in a way. You know, I thought it was inspiring. A lot of the early German, the early French bands for that matter. So much great music out there, mostly from Europe, basically. That basically fired me up, and no looking back after that.
Yeah. How did you? What kind of band did? Are there some names that of bands that made you think, oh, this is what I want to do? Or was it live shows? Or albums?
No. I did go to live shows, but it wasn't that. It's like hearing things that I really enjoyed. I mean, I guess the first band that I really connected with was the early Pink Floyd, but that's a good doorway. But it wasn't long before I was listening to Can, Faust, Amadou, Asher Ensemble, Lard Free, Helden. It's like it's like whenever you think you know it all, you realise you don't know it all, and you discover another great band. It's like wow, and it's like this voyage where basically the landscape becomes like more and more rich as you sail.
Do you feel that because I'm always telling me once more, maybe I'm right, that maybe if you had started your band in the 70s, you may have been one of the very big bands because of the timeline. You were speaking of krautrock, for example. We had the chance to do the interview of Richard Pinas from Helden, for example, and he was explaining to us how it was through those years, end of the 60s, beginning of the 70s, and how everything was merging. Do you think that
it's something I always wondered about? What if we'd started, say, 3 or 4 years earlier? It of course it's impossible to know, but it is a question that I've asked myself as well. You can't know. You cannot possibly know.
Because I think there is a generation fracture. When I speak with those who have known that period, there seems to think that there is an end. And when I tell them that, yeah, but there are still people like legendary Pink Dots, and they say, who? Like not having done this connection, which is clearly a connection. And
what is interesting in this respect was like when we began when a lot of bands were doing things for themselves, and that is a big. Like in the 70s, like let's say 1975, the thing was for a band to get signed by a label, and the label almost would control what they were able to do. and if they were successful, the label would sort of like invest into them, and if they were not as successful as the label wished, they could indeed be tied up in chains or just simply rejected. And but at the end of the 70s, there was a lot of independence within music. I'm not talking about independent labels, I'm talking about independence in bands and artists who said, look, you know, you don't need these labels, you can do things yourself. And of course that really influenced us, that kind of whole way of looking at how to get your music out there. And we did that. We refused to ever sign a long-term contract with anybody. There were a few who wanted to, but you know, that would have just taken away our freedom, because I don't want to just release an album every 2-3 years and call that. Yeah, for start, we could never survive because we were not a commercial band ever. And what I wanted was the freedom to release as much and just to do whatever we wanted. And I mean, I guess that's how you get to 110 albums, of course. And now, you know, we do actually work with a whole gamut of labels, a lot of different labels, and it works really well because none of them are trying to claim us or own us. You know, they give us complete freedom to do whatever we want to do, and that works for me. So I guess starting in 1980 was a good thing from that point of view.
Yeah, especially knowing that you were approached by a major.
Once, yeah, but that's a long time ago.
And that did want to keep you in the album they heard, and didn't want to hear the release that came after because it was too different.
Wouldn't have worked. Yeah, it could never work.
It's also the best total freedom you have.
Yeah.
Total control on what you have.
Yeah, you want to do what you feel needs to be out there. You have to retain complete control. You can't have anybody saying, well, no, that's too poppy or that's too harsh or something like, you know, because you make what you want the world to hear, you know, but it's your choice. You know, and you know, it doesn't adhere to any fashion or any movement or something. It's like, ultimately, I please myself first.
Yeah.
And if it pleases everybody out there, good, great. I like that. But you know, it can't be really the soul, or you can't pander to what somebody expects it to be like.
You have the capacity to do tracks that very rare bands can do. Then in some tracks, to me, there are like 10 different tracks in one long track, which make it very interesting because each time you hear it, you can discover something new.
Well, hopefully, yeah.
And that's make it something that is still pushing you to come back even to very old albums, which is the case for me. And even if sometimes I have songs from your discography that is linked also to my youth, to the time, but this is probably the same for everyone.
Yeah.
But in those tracks, how do you decide that?
Well, the beauty of the Pink Dots at the moment is that sort of like it's not just me that's making these decisions. This really is very, very much a band right now, and it's a band where everybody is like firing in ideas, and sort of like everybody has a passion right across the band, and it shows. I mean, it really does show. I must say, I'm very proud of the last things we've done, but it very much comes. It's a collective move. You know, this is very much a band now.
It always was. You had members that came, gone, and came back, and
Yeah.
and lots of people were parts of Pink Dots. It always was
It's
in
a,
movement.
It's a family, yeah. It's a family, absolutely.
home in a basket. They sold it for a song. Murder is acceptable when it stays unseen, like gorging on a swan steak, pretending that's its means. The greater the victims, the greater the reward. There always is a fire out there in the pool. Anonymous, 'cause no one sees the white plates on their eyes. Business is business. Grateful you're alive. The fertile seeds of savagery sliding through the pipes grow dirtier and deadlier, sucking in the light. From sunlit summer mornings in a far mystic land, they're recycling the surplus. They're biting off the hand that feeds them.